Well, hello there. So today, by the way, my name is Sue. I appreciate you watching my video today. So I made this frame, picture frame, quite a while ago for my craft room. And it's from The Little Mermaid. I just love this saying for a craft room because I do want more. But today's card started out from this image of this little mermaid. I have the stamp set and I wanted to make a card. So follow me today while I grab my supplies and make this card, and I'll show you how I did it. Try to do this in real time so I don't have to speed it up for you and you can see what it really takes. Now I'm going to start with the lightest color first, which is the pink. It's called Bubblegum Pink. And I'll go ahead and start that. And oh, I better get I keep a rag to wipe it all off each time. Now, these are definitely not your normal shell colors. I'm putting it out there now. This is just me thinking at the end of the day. So I'm just going to put color all over. Just kind of blend it out there. And then I'll go to the next color I have is Sea Glass, which is like a nice blue. Go like that. Yeah, don't try to find a beach with these colors. But I do believe there's a place called Sea Glass Beach that has actual sea glass from all the different debris that's out there. And it actually is a glassy beach. So the next color is Blue Lagoon, which is a little bit darker. And just kind of do that around the edges. And if you go over the colors that you had before, it's no big deal. It just makes a new color. Just a little bit darker there. And then the last color I'll go in with is a medium lilac. Yeah, you can see I've just kind of so isn't that fun? Just taking the colors that you have for the night and voila. Sorry for the glare of the light, but wow, isn't that awesome? Now, if you had some glitter spray, it'd be fun to do glitter spray on there. I've seen people do that. I don't happen to have any, but oh, I love that background. Now I'll go ahead and get the card ready in the next stage. Oh, what fun. So happy. The card is 8.5 by 5.5, and then I scored it at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. This stencil is by Gina K, water droplets, and then I used her inks and I used the blues that I have, which is, again, I used the Sea Glass, Blue Lagoon, and Tranquil Teal for the front of the card only. After I folded it in, then I just did this front. The back of the card is just white. This is one of those applications where you just have to keep playing with the colors until you get the color you want. It's just layering from light to dark and just keep going until you find the image you like. The mermaids are from Simon Says stamp called Beautiful Mermaids. Unfortunately, I don't think the stamp set is available anymore, but I did have this in my stash and I love these little mermaids. Now, one thing to note is one of the mermaids, I did a reversed stamp of it because I want the two mermaids looking at each other. And if you haven't seen my video before of how I do the reverse image, I'll link that one below. But that's how I got the one mermaid to be looking differently. So from this point forward, it's all about just coloring in the colors you want. I was thinking, since I did the blue front, I didn't want to have the blue mermaid, you know, where they have the turquoise shells, which are really pretty, but what I wanted to do was kind of tie in the colors that I did at the very beginning for that panel. So I used the same colors that matched that and just stayed with the blue, pinks, and the purples. I'm envisioning that this is going to go on, these are going to go on the front of the card, so they're not going to be in competition with that base that I already did. I envision them being on the blue part of the card, which is why I went with the pinks and the purples. Now this is all just coloring and just having fun. I really don't have much to say. It's just going back and forth. Now I did try to do, since I had the pens out, I tried to do the two together before I switched to another color. Now I'm saving the third one. I don't color that one in this section. I wait because I think I'm going to do that on the inside of the card, and I still have to think about what colors I want to use for her. So I'm just focused on the two that are going to be on the front of the card. That is why I'm staying with the same for both mermaids. So I colored the fins with the exact same colors, just alternating between the three colors, just going back and forth between the two, just kept them the same. And then I decided to use the stickles, which is called the peacock color. And I wanted to kind of outline and give it a little bit of sparkle for that. So I did around the fins, and I also did some of the scales for each of the images to kind of give that a little bit more of a sparkle. And here's where you've got to be careful. If you have to let the stickles dry, and you'll see why in a little bit, but you need to keep it dry. You need to let it dry before you move on. So here I went into coloring the hair, and I just kind of wanted a reddish brown hair because I thought that would show up better. So that's what I'm coloring for her. For both mermaids are going to have the same color hair and the same technique for that. For coloring the skin, I went back to using the Copic pens for this because I'm not familiar with the Ohuhu coloring for skin yet, so I'm more familiar with the Copics. So I went in with the E000 and the E11 and just used those two colors, since there's not very much to color for the skin. I just kept it very simple between those two colors, and I did both mermaids exactly the same way, just going the E000 as the base, coming in with the little bit darker. I did add the R01. I wanted to add that for the blush of the cheeks. So those are the three colors, the only three colors that I used for coloring the skin part of the mermaids. Oh my God, did you just see that? This is exactly why you're supposed to let it dry before you move on to the second part of coloring. After I scraped it off, I then added the stickle again, but this time I'm going to be smart about it. While it's drying, I still want to color, so I flip the image upside down and I color it upside down. And then I just color it that way. Be sure not to touch that stickles again. The next phase was to make the belly band for the card, and I used what I have, a embossing folder that has like these little waves or scales. There is an embossing folder with scales on it, and I don't have that. This is the closest I have. So I cut a piece of cardstock down that's 9 inches by 1.5, and then I folded it on the 6 7/8 and 2 3/8. That's the size. Yeah, 2 3/8 and 6 3/4. So I scored it at that, and then I put it through the embossing folder. But what I did was I added some salty ocean, and I put that on the flat side of the card, and then I ran the card like that through the embossing machine. So I got the blue and the white on there. Now I only wanted it on the front because I want the back to match the back of the card, which, like I said earlier, I left it white. So that was just all I did for the belly band. So right now we have the third mermaids to still color. We have the 2 mermaids that I cut out. We have the belly band, we have the card, and we have the inside card. So now we can assemble. I have all the pieces here, so let's start putting it together. First, put the back. This goes center. Like that. Let that sit there, and then on the belly band, I'm just going to put right on that, set down, and I'm going to put this on here so I can see. So I have this very old set in my stash. I like the purple hello. So I'm going to center that right in the middle of the belly band. Like so. That way I know how I can position the mermaids to go around that. So like that one could go there, and this one can go up there. I just have to cut off the tail. Or I could wrap the tail around the other side. We'll see if I'll do that, but let's first put her on there. Since it's embossed, I'm going to go ahead and put a foam square. There is my card, the mermaid card. So you have, like that, open it up, and you've got, now the stamp set had these images, so I added those, and then I have room to write whatever I want when the time comes. And it is blank on the back, and this has the blank on the back, but you've got the little tail. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you get a chance to try this fun fold card. And if you can, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you join me each week in my craft room. Have a great day.